This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Hello and welcome to the Love Talk Show, where we confront myths and misinformation when it comes to relationships.
Where couples and singles learn to love intelligently.
And the purpose of our show is to help those who have somehow become disappointed when it comes to relationships, those who have faced difficulties in their marriage, and also singles who perhaps think, am I going to be able to be happy, find true love, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, so many people have come to us who are frustrated in their love life. Although they tried many things, many have even gotten married, and still they can't, for some reason, they can't find happiness.
There's always a question mark, right? Also, those who are in a relationship, who are married, have been married for quite a long time, and things have gone from bad to worse in the relationship. There's no more love, no more communication, no more understanding between the husband and the wife or between the partners. And people keep wondering, what next? All that I dreamed of is going down the drain. And that's why today we're going to study the case of Malcolm Kurama. Malcolm experienced something similar. He struggled in his love life, due to his upbringing, due to so many bad experiences he had in the past. And we are going to study his case and help our viewers understand where these problems stem from and what they can do to sort them out.
Yes, because whatever it is that you may be going through in your love life, it can be fixed. Sometimes people, they are trying so hard to fix a relationship. They want to find a way to save the relationship when in fact what needs to be fixed is themselves.
Yeah.
So I think Malcolm's story will help shed a light on those who have been in the dark for quite some time when it comes to love life.
Yeah, so you stay with us because his case will truly help those of you who are somehow struggling and not only that, you don't really know why you behave in certain ways, you make certain decisions, or simply why you cannot seem to be successful, become successful when it comes to relationships.
That's right, but before we get into that, we will leave you with this week's Trip for Two, where Tapio and Yasmin had the chance to try out a free ukulele lesson, courtesy of the North London Music Academy. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, I'm Yasmin.
And I'm Tapiwa, and welcome again to Trip for Two. We're here at North London Music Academy and we're going to be learning to play the ukulele today. It's like a mini guitar, but it looks really more exciting, to be honest. And we're here with our teacher, Ben. So Ben's going to be teaching us everything we need to know about the ukulele. So Ben, please tell us, what made you play the ukulele and how did it all, how did you come across it?
So I originally started off by playing the guitar.
Yeah.
I learned the guitar first and then I moved on to the ukulele later. And then I had a lot of requests for guitar lessons and ukulele lessons. And it's quite transferable between the two. And then I found out it was a really, really good idea because this is a smaller instrument and it's got less strings than the guitar.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to pick up quickly. So you can learn the skills that you need for guitar on the ukulele and then transfer them to the guitar. So it's a really good just way in for the guitar as well. So, first things first, we'll do a piece called Uptown Funk.
Okay.
Do you know it?
Yeah.
Bruno Mars. Yeah. So it's good to do. It's good to do a song that people know, so that they can get their ears into it. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't feel too abstract.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to go with that one. There's only 3 notes we need to learn for the first bit. Okay. So when we're playing a chord, we're going to strum all the strings. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is, when we're holding the ukulele, you want to have it up, and then we kind of want to have it pushed into our body. Okay. So if we just move through quickly. It doesn't have to be too hard. That's great, really, really good. All right, so the rhythm that we're going to use in the right hand is going to be a strum slap, like that. Okay. So we're kind of creating a beat. Good. You got it. Yeah, nice one, simple, brilliant. Okay, so when we're playing a note, it's really important that we get our finger right on top of the string, okay? And just behind the fret. The fret are the little metal bits, okay?
Okay.
Because if we're on top of the fret, we get a bit of a buzz. It doesn't sound very nice.
Okay.
If we're too far behind, we don't get a very clean note. So if we're right just behind the fret, that's where we'll get our cleanest note, okay?
Okay.
Great. Fantastic. All right, now we're going to move our finger to the next string down, but we're going to go up a fret. So we're going to go to the 3rd fret. Fantastic, yeah. Great, and then push down. Fantastic, well done. So we're going to go from there, and then we're going to go to 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 1, 3, 1, 2. Cool, that's brilliant. How do you feel about trying to play the whole thing?
Yeah.
Because now we know the rhythm. Now we know the rhythm. Okay. Just try it really slowly.
Okay.
No pressure. All right.
So...
You're going to smash it.
I'll smash it.
Yeah, if it doesn't go well. Whoosh. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.
How do you know this so quick?
Amazing, well done, really good.
I'm sure you
Right, so just take it really, really slowly. And then down to the 1st fret. Same string.
Same string.
Yeah, so you move it down, 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 down. That's it. That's it. And then back up to 3.
Oh my
Same string.
Same string.
That's it, yeah. And
You were
then
doing all that. Move.
yeah, and then move it back down to the 1st fret. Bit further, bit further. Push down. That's good. And then you go back to the 1st note, which is on the other string.
Oh.
That's it. Cool. Yeah, no, you're getting it. You're getting it.
You look like a natural the way that you hold it though.
Yeah, just how I hold it.
yeah. Yes, that's it. And then back to 2.
Oh, you got it. Oh,
So close. So close. So close. All right. So what we're going to do now, there's another part that goes in there. So in between, we've got this bit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Perfect. Really, really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Really, really good. Right, let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So let's try and get you playing that together.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 1, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 1. Fantastic. We got it. Amazing. Nice one. Sounded really good.
I think our band is ready now.
Yeah. yeah.
So we've just had our ukulele challenge, and thank you so much to Ben and to North London Music Academy. So our experience today, I've had a lot of fun. I mean, I learned a song. I mean, I like it as well. So I mean, I'm I'm happy I learned it, and you know,
Yeah, it was really
in a short space of time, you know, it's quite fun, easy to learn. And how did you find it, Yas?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. I never thought I'd be playing this instrument on a day, but it's been really fun.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea for dates. You know, you can learn something new together. She keeps saying that I've got a musical background, but I've never played a ukulele until today, really, a real song. I just play things in my mind, but it's been fun, and thank you so much, Ben. We look forward to learning again next time. So what instrument do you think we're going to be learning next, Yasmin? Well, let's go and find out. Guys, we'll see you again next time here on Trip for Two.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Hello, our YouTube viewers. We are the presenters of the Love Talk Show.
I am Rafa.
And you know who I am, Luke. And we are here to encourage you to share this channel with your friends, your family members. Invite them to watch our shows, because our desire is to help couples and singles do better in their relationships or future relationships. So subscribe to this channel, share on your Facebook page, share the link with everyone you know, so that they can learn intelligent love.
Also, leave us our comments and your questions.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
And it's Dear Love Talk time. If you'd like us to answer any questions you might have about relationships, just send us your questions to questions@lovetalkshow.tv. Questions about relationships in general, whether you're single or married.
Sometimes people don't know the answer. Sometimes they are going through a problem. They have tried things and they just don't know what to do. This is what we are here for. This is what Dear Love Talk is for. So if you are in that situation, just write to us and we will answer you here on the show.
Yes, so sometimes one simple answer, one simple advice can make a huge difference, right?
So here's today's question. I got out of a relationship 2 months ago, and I'm the one that ended it because I was not doing any good in her life and she wasn't doing any good in mine. When I was with her, I had no peace and was losing myself and hurting her at the same time. My question is, if I ended everything, why am I hurting and feeling sad and wanting her back when I know she's no good for me? I was 9 years older than her.
Well, it's clear that wasn't only her, right? He says that in the question that he was not doing any good to her either.
Yeah, so the relationship wasn't good to either of them. One thing that I see here, he asks, why, if I ended up, he made a conscious decision. This relationship is not benefiting us. I'm not good for you, you're not good for me. Although maybe they would like to be, but they are not. So he made a conscious decision of, let's end. Why does he feel, why does he miss her? It's normal. I think it's normal because you're used to being in that relationship. You're used to having that person whenever, to go in places with that person. Even though, and this is so common, Luke, that many people, they are in a relationship that is bad. They have very few good moments and a lot of moments that are frustrating, that are bad. But just for the sake of, at least I have somebody. At least I am in a relationship. At least I'm not alone, so I'll just stay.
Yeah, and I think one important step that he took was to end the relationship. He saw that relationship wasn't working at all, wasn't doing any good to either of them, and okay, let's break up. Let's end the relationship. That's good. Now, not being able to let go of those feelings, not being able to let go of the woman herself, being very much attached, knowing that it wasn't working, and even himself not doing good to her. That's the part I would like to focus, because if you realize that you yourself, you are not doing good to your partner, you're not doing good to the other person, why is that? Have you questioned yourself why that's not happening? Why I am unable to offer that person, I don't know, love, attention, be patient, because he doesn't say that what was happening, why, you know, they were not doing well, what she was doing to him, what he was doing to her. So why is it? So, okay, there might be few issues with her, but the person in question here is him. He not being able to offer her what he would like to offer. So this is exactly what we teach people, what we learn people, we help people with. Taking a look at yourself, because you were very quick to say, hey, you were saying, she doesn't do any good to me and I don't do any good to her, but at the end of your question, you turn to her and say, I'm still in love with her, I'm unable to forget her. Why is that if she doesn't do any good to me? So in other words, you know, it's her fault, mostly her fault. And we tend to come across like that quite often. People who complain the most about the other person is the one who is in need of help the most. So for example, in this relationship, if I'm always complaining about her to friends, family members, I don't know.
To myself.
To you, it doesn't mean that you are exempted from all the mistakes within the relationship, but it shows also that I have lots of issues, because the one who complains the most, we see when we counsel couples, is the one who needs a lot of change.
Yeah, and
needs to change the most within that relationship.
And sometimes people come to the conclusion, you know, it's the relationship. So it's either the person's fault or it's the relationship's fault. It's this relationship that doesn't work. So I need to break it up. Now, here's the problem, and this is what you should do from now on. Okay, yes, you are still thinking about her because you were in a relationship. I believe that's normal. But it's not enough to just end the relationship and think my problem's solved. You need to use this time to fix exactly what you said. Why is it that you were no good to the person?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you not a good boyfriend, let's say?
Have a more intelligent approach to this relationship and also to your life itself, you know, a more intelligent approach. Because right now you're using a lot of your emotions, your feelings, you know, oh, I would like to be with her, but at the same time when we are together things don't work. This is not intelligent. So have a more intelligent approach to that relationship in particular, and to yourself, so that in the future, when you know, eventually come across someone else and you have a potential candidate to become your future partner or wife or spouse, you know, it's gonna work. So it's all about fixing yourself, looking at yourself, go to that root and uproot that root so that you can be successful in a future relationship. Okay? So if you'd like us to answer your questions, remember, questions at lovetalkshow.tv. We will be more than glad to answer them here. Keep them coming.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Do you know what intelligent love is? But you can find out on our site. It's lovetalkshow.tv. Many people, they struggle in love, in their relationships. They keep losing their hearts, their feelings, and everything always goes to waste. So if you want to learn to love intelligently, that's the place you should visit. lovetalkshow.tv. We also have our Facebook page, our Instagram page, Love Talk Show. So visit us.
I just agree with everything she said.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Welcome back to the Love Talk Show, and today we are looking into the story of Malcolm Kurama. And the reason why we are studying his case is because many of you will familiarize yourselves with what he went through. Actually, when I heard his story, I even myself familiarized with his story, but I'll tell a bit more later on. So, and you see also how a number of events in a person's life can shape a person's mind, shape a person's ways of thinking, and that later on will, you know, have some sort of influence the way that person lives his life, you know, deals with life, and even deals with relationships. Okay, so let's take a look at Malcolm Kurama's case study.
Life growing up was quite interesting because from an early age, my parents, they separated. I do remember my times living with my dad at home because he left at the age of when I was around 7. So in the beginning, everything was really good. For me, it was a perfect family. And that, in a sense, helped me when I was growing up, you know, because when I would go to school, I always kind of draw that perfect family picture with the house and the son with a smiley face and, you know, me, my sister, my mom and dad. So I lived a good life up until about 5 when I used to see my mom and dad fighting. And that's when I knew one day they're gonna get a divorce, they're gonna leave each other. And when I started to see the fights going on, that's when I became really closed up, so I wouldn't say anything. So my mom would say, oh, call the police or do something, help me. And I would just sit there really quiet. And my sister, she's 5 years younger than me. So imagine being 5, 6, my sister was 1, and she would have more of a reaction than I would. So growing up, I was always kind of labeled the quiet one, and my sister was the one who would be more outspoken, all of that. So when my dad eventually left, it really took a toll on me. Like, I was really upset. I was angry at both my parents, but mainly at my dad because I always believed it was his fault. But then at the same time, I would blame my mum because I would say maybe she's not doing her job as a wife. She's not doing her job as a mother. That's the reason why my dad wants to leave and he wants to start his own family. So I was really upset with my parents. And because of how things started to become at home, I saw relationships as they don't really exist. So when I grew up and when I started to have girlfriends, I didn't really see myself having something serious. I believed in, okay, you should get married, but I didn't believe that I would get married, you know? So it was something that was in my head, oh, one day I would like to get married, but it's not gonna happen. I just wanna live that bachelor's life. I wanna be single to mingle or something like that. That's how I wanted to live. I just wanted to have as many girls as I wanted, when I wanted, without any commitment. I didn't know how much of an effect it had on me until when I grew up. But I was exposed to a lot at a very young age. So from the age of 7, my cousins introduced me to pornography. And at first it was like, okay, what is this? This is new to me. But then it became, I would say, a secret addiction. So I would always crave to see things that were a bit explicit. So anytime I knew maybe a movie that was rated 12, 15 or 18, I would always want to watch it. So I would stay up really late and I would watch things that had nudity, anything that had any sort of sexual reference, I would watch. Also, my dad, when he left my mum, he would take me to his girlfriend's houses. And even though I knew, I would pretend like I didn't know what was going on. So I'll just ask, oh, who's that? And he would say, oh, don't worry, that's just an auntie. That's just a friend. But because of everything I was exposed to, I already knew what was going on. And it did affect me to the point where I hated my dad. I would never say, but I had feelings against him. And I would say, I wouldn't want to be, when I grow up, I don't want to be nothing like him, because I knew what he was doing was wrong. But then because it was something that I would see every day, it started to grow on me and I started to do the things that I saw my dad doing. So when I got to secondary school, things were exposed to me a lot more. So my friends, they would kind of pass around pornographic images on phones, DVDs at the time, and it was easily accessed, and especially with the internet being so free and you know, you was able to kind of do anything on the internet, I found a way to kind of feed my addiction a lot more. And as I got older, I started to see I was turning out like my dad. So I had many different girlfriends. I had loads of different girlfriends from the age of 14. And I was sleeping around with different girls. And I didn't see anything wrong with it because it just became a part of my nature. Until when I started realizing that I couldn't look at a female in a normal way without thinking sexual thoughts, without thinking, oh my gosh, I can tell what she's wearing underneath. And that's when I started to realize this is actually quite deep. Like, this is a big problem, but everyone else was doing it. Everyone in school was doing it. So it couldn't have been that big of an issue. I started skipping school so that I could feed my addiction to pornography, so that I could sleep around with the different girlfriends that I had. I would skip school. I would say to my mum, oh, I'm not feeling well, just so that she can allow me to stay at home. And when she would go to work, I would bring a girl over. And because I wasn't satisfied with one girl, if once one girl had left, I'll wait maybe a few hours and I'll call or invite another one to come over. So things were really, really messed up. I remember there was a time that I went to the clinic because I thought something was wrong with me. And normally people would think that was the breaking point for me. But then when I found out that, okay, I'm clear, everything was all in the clear, I thought, you know what? It was almost as if I cheated death, and I said, I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna keep doing more and more and get more girls. Even though I was with a lot of different girls, there was a period of time where there was a girl that I was interested, like really interested in, where we had a relationship for a long time. I think it was about 2 years. And I said, you know what? Things are going well. I might actually marry this girl. Things were going well. And even though I would see girls who I thought were better looking, it was like, no, but things are going really well with this girl. So I'm gonna try to fix up and become better. But I always believe if you don't sort out the root of a problem, it's always gonna creep up. So even though I had in mind, I'm gonna be with this girl, I really like her, I met her parents, she met my parents, yeah, so it was a really serious thing. Like, well, at the time I thought it was a really serious thing. I've met her parents liked me, my parents liked her. This is gonna be something that's gonna be big, you know? But then my old nature started to creep up. So there was a girl that was interested in me. I wasn't interested in her, but I liked that attention. She's interested in me, but I like my girlfriend, but she's interested in me at the same time. So I kind of entertained that. And, you know, I thought to myself, I'm not gonna do anything, but she likes me, so I kind of like that attention. So if she would message me, I'll message her back. And then there was a time I kissed her, and when I kissed the girl, I felt so bad. And I told my girlfriend at the time's cousin, and I said, look, don't tell her. I'm telling you because I need to tell someone, but don't tell her. I'll find the strength to tell her one time, in my own time. And then she told her, and then from there, our relationship just got really rocky, and then she didn't trust me anymore, and then we split up. So then after that, I just thought, you know what? This is just proof that I'm never gonna get married, I'm never gonna be with someone, I'm never gonna be able to settle down. So then from then on, I just really didn't care. I became quite ruthless. Whoever would come my way and show interest, even if I didn't find him attractive, she finds me attractive, so hey, let's go, let's do something together. So there was a time I had about 3 girlfriends and I got caught. And when they caught me, I didn't really care. I said, hey, look, one of you is gonna stay with me, so I'm not really bothered. I wasn't really worried that I got caught, even though they all left, but I was that confident that I could just get any girl. But it's weird at the same time because I had complexes. I didn't think I was the best looking guy because at a young age I caught chickenpox and marks remained on my face even up until today. So I wasn't that confident in the way how I looked, but because I was a confident speaker, because I was talented, I thought, hey, my talent is gonna get me women. So, girls, sorry, should I say. And because of that, I wasn't worried. Even though the girls left me, I knew I'm gonna get another girlfriend, I'm gonna get another bunch of girlfriends. So this continued, and I really thought I was the man. I thought I was untouchable. I thought that nothing could happen to me. But then the penny started to drop because I have a younger sister, and just one day, out of the blue, I just thought to myself, imagine if a guy treated your younger sister that way. And that's when things started to click. Hold on, you're actually turning out like your dad. You're becoming the man that you said you didn't want to be, but you're slowly becoming him. And the penny started dropping. It didn't fully drop, but it started dropping. So I started thinking to myself, I need to slow down and I need to be careful, because what if I catch something? What if I catch a disease and I die? And I was trying to cover everything up so I wouldn't let my mum know, but then I started to suspect my mum must know that something is going on, because how often can I say to my mum, oh yeah, this girl was just a friend from school. Every single day a different girl is a friend from school and you're not bringing guys to the house. Something is fishy. So I started to suspect that my mum knew what I was doing.
One important thing that I always tell people is that, first of all, families come from marriage, okay? Families form out of a marriage between a man and a woman. So we can see here through Malcolm's story that the marriage of his parents, as in most families, in all families, whether it's good or bad, has some sort of influence. References are transferable. I think we mentioned this few shows ago. So that reference of his parents transferred over to him. So what he saw, what he witnessed in his house, the way his parents behaved, fighting, arguing, took a toll on him.
And separating later on.
And separating, exactly. Plus, on top of that, not having very good references around him within his family. So obviously, it's understandable why he became who he became. So here we see Malcolm as a victim, like many people, like many men and women watching us right now. They are who they are today, they are doing what they're doing today. I'm not saying that's a reason for them to continue behaving that way, but it's pretty much the effects of that kind of experiences that they had in the past.
Yeah, it's interesting that all the stories that we bring here on the show, there's always a root in the family. Sometimes people say, I don't know why I react that way. I don't know why I am this way. I used to see that in my mother, in my father, and I remember hating it and promising myself I would never do the same, but I catch myself doing the very same thing, because that's all you knew. So you see that it's not enough for you to just say, oh, I don't know why I'm like that. It's not enough even for you to say, oh, it's because of what I saw in my family.
And that's what happened to me. I saw the way my father behaved towards my mother, the things he used to do. Not much the things he used to do, but the things he would say, the words that would come out of his mouth. And I found that extremely bad. To later on realize that I was doing exactly the same thing to you in the beginning of our marriage. Mm-hmm. So though I hated that, I despised that completely, I came to realize later on that I was doing the same thing to you. So because that gets imprinted on us. When we are children, as we are developing and growing up, we are like, I like to use this example that we are like blank CDs or blank tapes. Nowadays you don't use that anymore, yeah, well. But going back in the days, you're like a blank CD. Whatever the child sees, that's going to be recorded, that's going to stay with that child. And later on in the future, somehow that's going to be played.
It's true, and that's what we are going to continue seeing in Malcolm's story after the break. Stay with us.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Hello everyone, we are here to invite you to our Love Talk seminars every Thursday at 8 p.m. on the address that you can see here at the bottom of your screen. You can also find more details on our website, lovetalkshow.tv. You find events throughout the year. They are all free, where you're going to learn a lot about relationships. Singles and couples are invited. Our desire is to share with you a little bit of what we've been through, and also, help you with prayers, with advice, with counseling, down-to-earth teachings in which will help you become a better man, a better woman, a better husband, a better wife, and see, better results of your investment when it comes to relationships. Okay, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Love Talk Live on this address here that you see at the bottom of your screen.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
From the age of 7, my cousins introduced me to pornography. From the age of 14, and I was sleeping around with different girls, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. Whoever would come my way and show interest, even if I didn't find them attractive, she finds me attractive, so hey, let's go, let's do something together. I believe the reason why I was doing the things I was doing was because I wanted attention. Like when I look back and I think about it, I think, especially with that whole comparison of I grew up being the quiet child, my sister was the really outspoken one, and everyone would say, why are you so quiet and your sister's so out there? So I almost felt like they were comparing me, and they loved my sister more than they loved me. So I was seeking attention, and I wanted to kind of have that love that I felt I never had. So I would do that. So when I would be with a female, it was almost as if the roles were reversed. I almost became the clingy one in a sense. And it's so weird that I say that, because I would play girls, but then I would be so clingy. At the same time, I wanted them to be around me. I wanted their attention. I wanted them to compliment me. I wanted them to make me feel good. But then when I was alone, I was just really, I would almost say depressed. I don't think I was that low to the point of depression. I wasn't feeling like suicidal or anything, but I just felt really low. I felt really lonely. I would lock myself up in my room, and that was a big thing. I was always in my room, and because I had everything in my room, I had a TV, I had everything I needed, I had my console, I'll go home, straight to my room, I have my computer there, anything I need, it's right there. I would only leave my room to go to the toilet, go downstairs to the kitchen, I'll bring my food upstairs. So much so, my mum tried to create this rule of no food goes upstairs. That didn't work with me. It worked for maybe a week, and then my mum realized, you know what, it's not gonna work. And I'm sure she did that because she realized that it wasn't healthy that I was always in my room, you know, and I would lock the door. I didn't have a lock, but I'll put something on the door, so if someone tried to come into my room, I would know they were coming into my room. So I felt really lonely. I was invited to a youth group, and the person who invited me, I always say, was very smart. He knew what I liked, and he used that to make me come. He said, look, there's gonna be girls and there's gonna be dancing. So I said, okay, cool, I'm gonna come, definitely, because if there's girls there and if there's dancing, 2 + 2 is 4, and that's what I like. So I came, and I really enjoyed what I heard. And I think it's because what they said helped me realize that the life that I was living wasn't right, but it wasn't just a thing where what you're doing is wrong, stop doing it. What you're doing is wrong, and we can help you kind of change. So I said, okay, I'm gonna continue coming to this place, and I came regularly. And then I started attending a seminar which was about love, the love therapy seminar. And that's where I started to learn, look, before you can find love somewhere else, you need to find love within yourself. And that's when I realized, you know what, I need to start loving myself. I need to start appreciating the person who I am. Of course, I've made mistakes in the past, but if I'm willing to move forward, if I'm willing to look past that and say, I'm going to change, I will change. So I started to hear positive words, I started to hear encouraging words, and I started to see that I wasn't the only one going through what I was going through, and that there were people who went through what I went through and they had overcome. So when I heard that, I said, okay, this place is for me. This is what I need to hear. This is what is gonna help me, you know, change and help me grow. So as I started attending the seminars weekly, regularly, I started to learn, okay, it's not just about loving yourself now. Now that you've learned to love yourself, you need to learn to love intelligently. And then I said, okay, what does that mean? So then I started to attend the seminar weekly, all the time. I was regular, taking notes and everything, and I would go home and I would see, what can I do to put that into practice? What can I use from what I got from there to help me become a better person? And then that's when I was able to kind of overcome my addiction, not even kind of, completely overcome my addiction. You know, I wasn't interested in finding someone. I was just interested in becoming a better person. And that's when, with time, I started to realize I don't care about being around women. I don't care about their attention, because now I don't need their attention. I love myself. When I realized that, okay, I can change, I realized, okay, I also need to stop doing certain things. One of the things I stopped doing was locking myself inside of my room. And a lot of the time, because I had friends who had similar problems like me, and whenever I would say that to them, they would say, but that's not really a big thing. But if you don't lock yourself in a confined area where you're gonna probably watch pornography, you're gonna bring females in, you're gonna be more exposed to doing things that are right. So because I stopped locking myself inside my room, I would spend more time with my family. So then it would take my mind off doing, you know, wrong things. Then I had to cut off friends that, you know, were leading me down the wrong path, because I had friends who would say, hey, look, I've got this DVD of this, I've got this, I've got that. When I started cutting off that kind of friendship, I realized my mind became a lot more clearer. I stopped doing or stopped thinking about those things because I wasn't hearing it all the time. I also had to break my SIM card. I had to break my SIM card. I had literally, it's become a habit that a lot of people say, your number changes all the time. I've stopped doing it now, but it became a habit, because if I would realize that someone of my past would have my number, I would change my number quickly. And it helped a lot, because then I wouldn't have the contacts of those girls anymore. I wouldn't be able to contact them. They wouldn't be able to contact me. So I had to break my SIM card. I had to change my social media sites as well. So my Facebook at the time, I think I had close to 1,000 friends, and I still think, did I know all of those people? Did I even speak to them? So I had to change my social media accounts. Before, I did think that relationships just couldn't be anything. I thought, you know, love is dead in a sense. You know, there's nothing, love doesn't exist, you know. But then when you start to learn, and I'm gonna use the term, when you start to learn to love intelligently rather than just learning to love, you realize that there's so much more to everything. There's so much more to anything connected to love. There's so much more to it. It's not just about finding someone, you know, kissing, holding hands, sleeping together. It's a lot more than that. It is literally learning. You're learning how to become a better person for yourself as well as for someone else. You learn how to, you know, value, you know, everything, every moment that you have with someone else, you start to learn. And that's what I started to learn. And when I started learning that, that's when I actually found someone, you know. And it's so funny, because when we met, we didn't like each other. You know, we were two completely different people, you know, and which is so funny, because people think they need to find someone who is just like them, someone who, you know, maybe likes the same food as them, likes the same music. But then I realized that actually, it doesn't have to be someone that is exactly like you, but sometimes you need someone who is the complete opposite, because then, like for example, I'm a very outgoing person, and my wife today, she is completely different. She's not, I don't want to say she's stuck up, because she's not, but she's more down to earth, she's more mellow. And I'm really outgoing, very bubbly, but that compliments me, because then the times when I don't need to be so bubbly, I've got her attributes where I'm like, okay, now it's time to be serious, now it's time to relax. So I learned that sometimes you don't need to find someone who's exactly like you, you just need someone who is going to kind of fit. So it's like a glove. So if a glove was exactly the size of your hands, you wouldn't be able to put it in, but you need that space to kind of make it fit. You know, so that's what I started learning. So then, yeah, I met my wife now at the love therapy seminar, and we didn't like each other, as I said. And but then we realized that, hold on, even though we don't like each other, we actually like each other. So we started speaking. We were dating for about a year and 7 months, I think. So we gave ourselves enough time to kind of learn about each other, which is, I think, a very valuable thing. You need to learn about each other. Don't just try to rush into things and say, look, we're moving in together and yeah, it is what it is. You need to learn about the person and the person needs to learn about you. I was really open as well about my past and so was she. And I feel like that was very helpful because then she knew who I was and I knew who she was. It was quite transparent. Everything was out on the table. So after dating for that period of time, I said, you know what? This is the kind of woman I need in my life. And then I proposed to her and she took a long time to say yes, so I was worried. But then she said yes. And then like, I've been married now for 2 years and 3 months and it's been the best experience ever. You know, now the way how I see marriage, the way how I see love is completely different, you know, and I always feel that everything that happened in my past was building me up until this moment. If I hadn't have gone through everything that I went through, I don't think I would have valued love the way how I do now, because now I see that everything that I was doing before, that craving of attention, you know, that wanting to be with someone has helped me learn that you don't need anyone. As long as you can love yourself, you'll be able to love someone else, you know, rather than, oh, I need someone to love me so that I can love them. No, you need to learn to love yourself before you can love anyone else.
We can clearly see how Malcolm's inner self became so messed up, right? Due to everything he went through. And as we were saying before, everything that he saw in his family members, especially the male members of his family, that he kind of loathed or, you know, didn't like, he began to behave just like that, right? And lost all the confidence when it came to relationships. Marriage is not for me. I don't think it's gonna work. He even came across someone that perhaps could potentially work. The relationship could go further. He even contemplated marriage. He said, this girl here could potentially become my wife. But as soon as he realized that, you know, the old Malcolm, he said, he started, you know, coming out of the grave and, you know, manifested itself, right? And led him to do what he did, even though it was against his desires, his nature is still the same.
Yeah, you see that it's not enough. If you see, it was a big difference. I think it was a big leap from who he was. So someone who didn't want any serious relationship, just wanted to use girls and just wanted to be a bachelor, to now finding somebody that he actually wanted to be with. Went to the girl's parents, introduced her parents, his parents to her. So you would say, you know, it's a big leap, he's changed, but you see that that's not enough. Sometimes just wishing, I wish I was different, so I'm going to do different. It's not enough, because when he had something good going on, he destroyed that. He couldn't help himself because who he was hadn't changed. Maybe his idea of relationships had changed slightly. His plans for the future had changed because now he found somebody he liked. But at the same time, the old Malcolm was still there.
Yeah, there was a wish inside of him. There was a wish. He wished things could be better. Probably he wished that long time ago, from the time he was still a child, when he wished his parents were still together, when he wished things back then were different. So now he was again wishing for a better life, but he was unable to control himself. He was unable to, you know, exercise that self-control. Why? Because he was still pretty much the same inside, and he had issues in the inside. So having issues inside of you, you know, as long as you carry those issues inside of you, you will not be able to, you know, to keep a relationship, to make that relationship stable or solid. No matter where you go, no matter how good or lovely or attractive or beautiful or handsome, for that matter, the other person may be, or even helpful. For example, how many people find someone who you know, can really help them somehow. You know, for example, a man or a woman finding someone of the opposite sex who they say, wow, I found this person who really completes me, who really helps me, who is so good to me. I want to keep this person for the rest of my life. The problem is that that person is still the same. So that man or that woman will mess up again because they are still inside, either here or here, not well. They haven't overcome past issues, they haven't overcome complexes, they haven't overcome doubts or fears or some kind of negativity. They still very much emotional, unable to deal with things in a more rational way, like Malcolm says towards the end of his story, when he learned to love intelligently, and not only love intelligently, but approach relationships intelligently. So no matter how good the opposite sex is, if you're still full of issues, it's not going to work.
Yeah, some people think that a relationship will fix them.
Exactly.
Whatever is wrong with them will get fixed once they find somebody to love them. But the issue is that works in the beginning. That might work in the beginning. In the beginning, it's all flowers, it's all good. But time will show that when it comes to it, that person has very little to give, very little to offer. So you want to receive, you want to take, you want to be loved, be understood, be helped, whatever. But you have very little to give.
And that frustrates the person. The person becomes very frustrated, disappointed at himself, at herself, and thinks, okay, this is it. I'm no good. Like Malcolm started thinking, you know what? I don't think this marriage thing is gonna work for me ever. Because the person feels frustrated due to that lack of offering. That person is unable to offer the other person something good. Just as that person does him or her good, she's unable to do good to the other. So that frustrates that person, leads that person to, get upset or moody or frustrated. Then what is the solution? It's better for us to, have give some time,
go our separate
ways and just break up and move on with our own lives, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, and you see that, like we said in the other segment, sometimes a person says, I can't help it. I don't want to be this way, but I can't help it. Why can't you help it? Because people think that love comes naturally. They think love is what you feel, and feelings come naturally. But for you to have a successful relationship, for you to be happy in your love life, you need to learn how to love. Love is learned. And it's not enough for just to learn how to love. You need to learn how to love intelligently. That's when you're able to have an idea in your mind. Okay, I need to change. I want to be this way. And you actually can do it. When you know, intelligent love shows you the steps for you to get there.
Yeah, love doesn't come by default. You'll be good that way, right? You grew up in a lovely family where your parents are lovely and kind towards each other, and there is harmony, they love each other, and so forth, which happens a lot. Still, you need yourself to learn that. So people learn all kinds of things. They are ready to learn all kinds of things. Take courses about this and that, learn new things, learn a new language. They want to have, all kinds of experiences in life. But when it comes to love, they don't want to learn. They say, hey, I'll take it as it comes.
Yeah,
I'll take it as it comes, and everything will be okay. No, it's not okay. It's not gonna work. It doesn't work like that, because you need to learn, you need to develop, you need to grow within, right? You need to do well, to be well within yourself, as Malcolm put it very well. If you are well within yourself, as he learned to be well within himself, he learned that he had to be in love with himself, to be strong enough to overcome those issues inside. So once he did that, once he achieved that, and he came across who today is his wife, so things worked out. And he was able to succeed in his love life. So Malcolm's case study helps us understand that once you take time to look at yourself, forget about external help, forget about new adventures, or maybe a new partner you help me change, or a new place, or a new work, or I don't know, a new job. Now, when you take a look at yourself and work with yourself, then eventually it works.
And the thing I was thinking as I was seeing him speak is that anyone looking from the outside would say, oh, that guy will never get married. Like, this is a classic example of someone who'll never settle down, never get married.
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
And look at him, married and happy.
That's right. So this is it for today, guys. Until next time, see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's all for today's Love Talk show. Be sure to tune in next week to learn more on how to love intelligently.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.